Hey guys, I'm Michael,
Tony.
I'm Kat.
and today we're going to talk about the little short that we did earlier today um, about us going to court because Cat pressed charges on a father. Um, I guess the best way to start this off would probably be excuse Tony, he's dying. Uh, what led to all of this? You go ahead. I guess maybe from like April last year, you lost your job. You want to, or you want to go a little further before that? Tell about your mom.
I don't know.
Well, maybe you should start with your mom about.
What, that she died?
Well, yeah, but her mother was handicapped. She got one of her legs taken off. Uh, and as I mentioned a couple of times before, Cat's a CNA. So her father believed that uh, Cat should have been taking care of her mother. But Cat is a grown woman, and Cat has a life to live. And Cat didn't see any problem with coming around, once a week or once every couple of weeks, come check on her mother. Let's not. Cat doesn't live there anymore. Hasn't lived there in a very long time. So, you know, Cat did help her mother whenever she was around, whenever she'd go over there to visit. But you finish off where I'm going.
Um, but they didn't see it as good enough.
Might speak up a little louder.
Uh,
I told y'all she's shy, so give her a break.
I don't want to be your help. Anyways.
Please. I don't think I got kidnapped you or something.
It's one of those things to
Tony-
kind of add to it, and I'm just adding to this.
Tony, wait. Can you make sure we're actually recording?
Well, if we're just sitting here just talking to a
That'd be
dead
crazy.
camera. No, we're still recording.
Okay, all right.
You know what? There's no edits. We're leaving that in. It don't matter. But I'm just going to add into it a little bit because he was starting to explain it, but I don't know if he explained it to everybody the way they would understand it. It's one of those things where, yes, I get it. If you have time, if it was one of those things where money was always flowing in and never had to worry about money, and she was like, okay, well, I want to take care of mama kind of thing, and she could do that, that's one thing. But when you're working your own self and you don't have all that extra time to do it, there's only so much you can do. And somebody out there would think, well, she should have done, or like her dad, she should have done this. Well, I'm sorry if this is going to sound wrong coming from me. You're the husband. You're there to take care of your wife. Take care of your wife. And that's not me being mean or anything about it, but that's your household. Take care of your household.
Damn, you're pretty passionate about that.
I'm not.
Drama.
That probably too. But I mean, it's just.
Well, you got to take care of your mom.
I have to take care of my mama too, so I understand coming from
It's a lot.
her shoes. It is, and I had to put my life on hold for my mom. After my mom had passed, like you guys know, then that's when I was able to start doing stuff for my own self. But especially in her case, there was still another person around that could help out.
I had two older siblings. I'm the youngest. And a dad. Yes, my dad worked, which I got, whatever. But I shouldn't have been the sole person at 8 years old taking care of my mother and all that.
Yeah, but a few years ago, her dad got fired from a job that he had been there for a very long time. And just recently, like about, I want to say like a year, maybe even 2 years after he got fired, her mother passes away. Now, after he got fired, he didn't try to go find another job. He wanted just to kick it kick it on back at home and, you know, relax. So he had time, okay? But he still wanted Kat to come and take care of her. Now, her mother was very depressed. Uh, Her father is this much of a douchebag. Her mother died not of natural causes, but of a drug overdose.
If it was intentional or not, we don't know.
But we're thinking it is because the weeks prior, she was talking about how they were talking about getting a divorce and how she was very depressed, and she was even going to go see a therapist. So her mother was, like I said, got her leg cut off and was in a lot of pain from more than just her leg getting cut off. She had several issues with her back and her neck. She had her neck and back fused together, so she had a lot of different uh, metal and stuff that was screwed into her, and which caused a lot of pain. So she actually got prescribed the narcotics. Um, that was actually Percocet. Do you know what milligram?
No,
I think they were 15s, weren't they?
10s probably.
Well, okay, if they were 10s, that means they were 10 325s. I believe they were 10. I believe I saw a bottle. They were either 15s or 10 325s, one of the two. And, well, just one night, she decided to take more than she needed to, and she wound up dying from an overdose. Um, and it was all because of the way that her husband treated her. She's very depressed about that. And he was always trying to cause issues. Her mother was also a smoker, and her father did not smoke. So her father would all the time bitch and complain about nicotine being on the walls. But get this, she smoked light cigarettes. There wasn't even really no nicotine on the walls.
She smoked ultralights.
The walls still looked white in the house. There wasn't even no yellow to the walls in the house. But it didn't matter to her dad, to her husband / Kat's dad. He would bitch about anything and everything. He's the man that would, if he didn't get his way, we're going to give you just a little, this is Kat's story. Tell me about the time about the crackers.
Oh, I was eating tuna, and I put crackers in my tuna, and I didn't know if I was going to go back for more or not, so I just closed the end and put it in the cabinet, like people do, normal people do. He comes home from work, pissed, I guess, sees it, and starts yelling and screaming who put the crackers in there, and I told him I did. He's like, well, you just wasted them, and then crushed them all up, threw them on the ground, stomped on them, and said, that's just wasteful. And then my mom had to end up cleaning it up.
So that's just to give you a little insight on how her father is. Now you understand why you may have some judgmental people out there saying, well, that's her father. She shouldn't have pressed charges. No, you don't understand the things that this man is about. He manipulates and squirms his way back into your life. He tries to act like everything's all right, and then he will find something.
If it ain't how I spend my money, it's how much money I'm making. If it's not how much money I'm making, it's what I'm spending my money on. Like, I needed a car. He didn't like that. And then it's always something. Or he don't like that I had gauges in my ears. So when I took them out, he's wondering why I don't have my ears pierced no more. It's like, one, make up your mind. Two, is my life, please.
So, I'm gonna be honest, when I first met him, I liked him. I thought he was a cool person. And I actually liked hanging out with him. I'd go over there quite often, go hang out with our dad. And then I started seeing things that I didn't like. And, well, when he started treating her wrong, I stood up to him. Hey, you're not going to talk to her that way. Well, he starts to start threatening me with the guns. Well, I'm not afraid of a gun. I've been, the ones that know me know me. They know how many times a gun has been pointed at me, and guns do not scare me. Uh, so you can threaten me all day, but the way I look at it is, are you man enough to actually pull the trigger? I've been around guns my whole life. I've had guns pulled on me. I've been in some shady situations growing up where I've had many guns pulled on me. Uh, so guns don't scare me. You threaten me all day long. But that wasn't the issue. The issue was the way he talked to her. And that's not cool with me. I don't care if you are a father. You're not. She's a grown woman. She done moved out of your house years ago. You're not going to, just because you're a father, you ain't going to talk to her like that. You're not going to scream and yell at her and all this other stuff. Nope. And then, Cat, when it was chilly, I'm freezing, I'm shaking. It's November, y'all. So, anyways, Cat is, like I said, CNA. She wound up getting,
Latent TB.
yeah, latent, what? My brain ain't working.
Latent TB.
Yeah, latent tuberculosis, which means it's there, but it's not an active virus. It's kind of dormant. The CDC got involved and made her stay out of work until she got cleared by medical, which was a couple weeks. Well, her job wasn't paying her for being out, even though the CDC and her actual boss at her job was making her stay out of work. So we were falling behind on bills, and she called her dad and asked for just a little bit of help. He didn't want to help. It wasn't the fact they couldn't help. He just did not want to help. And he thought because we have a nice place to stay, and we have nice cars, and, we're living the American dream, have a little bit of debt. It was our fault. It wasn't our fault. We're just doing whatever American out there does every day. The cars we have, there's only one car that was new, bought brand new. The other car was used when we bought it. It's just a squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we're not living some kind of lavish life. We're not going out here and spending thousands and thousands of dollars on jewelry or, fancy stuff. I mean, for crying out loud, look at my shirt. Most of my clothes have holes in them. Cat has clothes that don't fit well. And not because of her size either. It's because she's either lost weight or gained weight. And she goes between losing weight and gaining weight. And sometimes they don't fit well. She's got clothes that will eventually just start deteriorating by themselves, and the seams, like not the seams, but the stitching will just start to come apart, like it's on the sleeves. And it's because, well, we live we don't live a fancy life. We live a comfortable life, but not a fancy life. We're not out here buying the most expensive clothes. Hell, most of the time we don't even have money for clothes, to be completely honest with you. We struggle every day. But we're comfortable. We're considered middle class. But to him, that was an issue. He wanted us to be below him. And he didn't like the fact that we had things that he didn't have. And, I don't know what his issue was, but it was just there was a lot of drama, a lot of bullshit, and
And he was relaying all this stuff to my sister, who was messaging me,
And me.
telling me, oh, you need to handle your own stuff, all this other kind of thing. Cause she thinks that
Her sister is a what grade? Her grade teacher.
second grade, I think, teacher.
Second grade teacher. Her sister makes less than Kat does. Makes less than Kat does. But you know, she wants to come in here and act really bad like she's something. No, Megan, if you're watching this, you ain't nothing. And she thinks she's something because she done married a man that his father owns a boating company or boats, sells boats. Well, bitch, I want you to know something. That ain't your money. That ain't even your boyfriend slash fiance slash husband's money. You understand? That's his father's money. And from the research I've done on this man is brokered at me and Kat and Tony put together.
Not Tony.
I just have $50 to get 200 chicken nuggets. That's all I got. So.
Well, that brokered to me, all of us don't make no sense because we ain't that broke. But I'm saying that man is broker than a homeless man, to be honest with you. He just living off his father.
I mean, I may not got much money or anything, but I mean, we got some food in the house. And, you know, there's gas in the cars, and you know, bills are all paid for. So I see that as a win. You know.
Well, getting to the point of where it started becoming an issue with her father, as far as him coming around. It was April or May. That's when Kat lost her job. And he threatened me with a gun. And Kat didn't take too kind to that. So Kat told him, don't ever call me again. Don't ever show up to the house ever again. Well, a few months go by, October 19th. This is her birthday. He shows up with a cake. He rings our doorbell. We got, you know, the Google Nest doorbell and Google Nest cameras all around the house, inside the house. So we saw him on the doorbell camera. He rung the doorbell camera. We selected a little automated thing. You can leave your package at the door. We didn't come to the door. We didn't want to buy. We didn't want to talk to him or nothing. He didn't leave the package. He didn't leave the birthday cake at the door.
He threw it in the car.
He threw it in the car and left.
And by throw it in the car, I mean throw it to the point hit the passenger side window.
Well, so then he comes back again May 11th. So the whole thing about the birthday cake, that was 2024. So he comes back again May 11th, which is Mother's Day on 2025.
This year.
And Kat was still here. Kat was actually about to get ready for work. And he shows up, and I said, babe, your dad's here. So please deal with it. I don't feel like dealing with him today. So she opens the door, and he's just standing there asking her a million questions.
How's your job? Where do you work? How's it going?
You know, it seems like he was trying to be nice, but again,
just getting information to go tell the rest of the family like everybody else does.
He gets his foot in the door by being nice. You think everything's fine and dandy. You know, you can try again to be around them, and you know, for them two to have a father-daughter relationship, and then he uses the information and turns it negative. Somehow, some way, even though it's not negative, it's 100% positive. This man turns it negative. He adds shit to it to make it negative. So Kat is sitting there telling him, look, you know, my job's going fine, everything's going fine, but you need to leave. She tells him that several times, and he just keeps talking, won't no more information. So I was sitting on the couch in the living room, and I stood up, and I said, hey, buddy, she didn't ask you to leave, you need to leave. This is my fucking house, and now I'm telling you to fucking leave. Well, he mumbled some shit and I didn't hear it, but Tony and Cat heard it. And he said, "I ain't scared of him." And Cat was in the doorway. I swear to God, if I would have heard that shit, I would have jumped over Cat to get to that man. I would have hurt that man. Well, we figured since that happened, he wouldn't have showed back up.
Yeah, it's done and over with. Yeah, I think he got the point.
We thought he did. That was on May 11th.
Nope.
November 16th, 2025.
Ooh.
Motherfucker shows up, Cat's at work. Me and Tony on Broadway checking out a spot to go fishing. And all of a sudden, I get notifications on my phone that somebody's pulling into the driveway because it's like active live notifications from our camera system. So I look. Sure enough, it was her father. But this time, he didn't come alone. He come with two other people in the vehicle. And the only reason we know that is because the person in the back seat had the window down. And then on the way when he was exiting, or no, when he came in, we saw the person in the front seat. But then whenever he was exiting, we could see the person I believe it was back seat. I might have got how we were able to see them confused or wrong. But we were basically able to see there were two other people in the vehicle with him. For what reason? I have no idea. We couldn't tell who they were. Even though we zoomed in, we couldn't really tell. It wasn't the fact it was grainy. It was just...
I don't know who those people
yeah,
are.
we don't know who they are. Why the hell are you bringing people to our house? After we didn't tell... especially after the last encounter.
And on top of that comes when he knows I'm at work. Everybody knows what time I work. Everybody knows I said leave at the same time.
Well, my landlord, the way it's set up here, my landlord stays kind of in front of us in a house. Probably he stays like 900 feet in front of us. But to the right, this way, he's got his own little workshop. He said he was, and I went and talked to him. He said he was in his workshop, and he saw her dad pull in, and that he was creeping real, real slow. Why would you be creeping slow, sir? You were creeping to look out, make sure nobody was there. Here is what you were doing. See, the situation with the crackers, like she explained about how he threw them on the ground and stomped all over them. Cat's afraid that he might try to do something like that to our house. Well, I told the landlord about that, and the landlord said, and I quote, "I shoot first and ask questions later." So, you know, now we got our landlord on high alert looking for this man because the landlord thinks that his property's about to be damaged. So, you know, he's shaking some feathers, and not because we're scared, but you know, this man can be a little bit unpredictable, and not necessarily like crazy, but just he likes to throw a tantrum like a baby. I guess if he destroys things, I guess that would be violent, but. So anyways, that day that on May 11th, me and Tony were witnesses to Cat telling him to leave and never come back. So that's why me and Tony are witness. And we also witnessed, me and Tony are also witness that we both saw him on camera pulling up in the driveway again on November 16th.
Yeah, the moment he had seen the notification, he looked at it here. He was like, "Hey, Tony, look at this." He sat there and zoomed in on it. We could zoom in on close up. He just seen him and the two passengers on the side. Because he's just slowly trying to pull through and then leave.
But the even crazier part is he knows that we have cameras.
Yeah, he knows. He don't care that we have cameras.
So were you going slow so you wouldn't trip a camera, or were you going slow because you don't want no one to hear you, or what?
Well, I hate to break the news, buddy. Our camera trips from just a fucking leaf moving. If a leaf moves across a yard, our camera trips.
Yep.
I mean, it's very sensitive, and there's a setting in the settings where you can adjust the sensitivity level. But I have it on high sensitivity for a reason. So in case somebody thinks, oh, well, I can just go real slow and not trip a camera. No. Plus, we're YouTubers, and I have to keep me as the man of the household. Me and Tony are not blood related, but I consider him my brother. I consider him like my actual brother. This is my fiance, and I got a dog. I gotta protect my house, which means protecting Tony, which means protecting Cat, my dog, and even my own property out here. So, because we're YouTubers, I've got cameras out too. Because, well, it's not hard for people to find out information about people where they live on the internet. Me and Tony's already had that, where somebody found us on social media when we very first started our YouTube channel, which was really weird. I mean, the guy was stalking us. But today, we went to court, and the little slip that the magistrate gave us said November 25th at 8:50 a.m. So we get there, and Kat's nervous. She ain't never been to court in her life. I don't know if you ever have been to court, like a witness or
No, it was my first
for
time.
anything. But Tony was pretty calm. He wasn't. I don't think he was as nervous as Kat. If he was, he won't show it.
I have anxiety.
She does. I have to comfort her a lot.
Now, what's the judge going to tell me? Get out? That's my happy day. Tell me to get out of the courtroom? Yes, Honor, I will.
Say no more.
Say no more.
But we went to court, and it used to be. Now I'm be honest with you, the people that know me, they know me. I didn't used to be the goodest boy. I've had my fair share, and more than just a fair share, of run-ins with the law and the courtrooms and how the courts work. So the whole time, for like a week, I've been explaining to them both of them, how everything's going to go down in the court today. Well, it would have went that way, but the sheriff's office still hadn't served him his paperwork, her dad, his warrant. They hadn't picked him up on the warrant yet. And that could be for a number of different things. That could probably be because they tried to make contact and he wasn't at home. So they'll come back at a different time to try to serve the warrant. But we were supposed to be there. They were supposed to have served the warrant by now to her father. And again, it was second-degree trespassing, which is a misdemeanor. Usually, somebody get probation for it, or community service, and pay some court costs and maybe some legal some fines.
So a slap on the wrist.
Well, if you continue doing it, then it could turn into
Jail time.
it could turn into some serious jail
Actual,
time.
yeah.
Well, we get to court, and like I said, they hadn't served them yet. We're sitting there listening to roll call, because the way it works is they'll say the defendant's name, which is Jeffrey Fish, and then Kat will have to say out loud, victim, and then I'd have to say out loud, witness, and then after me, Tony would have to say, witness. Um, and they never did say her dad's name. So we were like, what in the world's going on? Because they called roll call. So, because I wanted to, Kat and her anxiety she has, I tried my best not to leave her alone. I was sending Tony out to go ask information. Hey, are we in the right courtroom? They called roll call, and they didn't call us name. And that's when we found out that they hadn't served them yet. So now we're waiting. We're going to be waiting for a call from the district attorney whenever they finally do serve them, and waiting for the district attorney to give us a call with a new court date. But I'll probably encourage Kat to make a phone call to the district attorney's office and follow up with them, because we actually have video proof and some other things we need to turn into the district attorney's office so they can have ready for court. In case our father decides that he wants to say not guilty, if he says not guilty, it'll go to trial. But if he just says guilty, then they'll just go ahead and sentence him right then and there, and everything will be over with. Woo, I'm cold. Whew. Anyways. Tony, I don't know how you're not shivering.
Called be a man.
Ah!
No pain, no game. Oh, I'm freezing over here. I am cold as can be. I mean, I don't know how well the camera shows everything, but trying to like have my body just kind of like
Smoke another one. I sure
like,
will.
just kind of closed off to try to keep myself somewhat warm.
Anyways. Well, I put just right here and I felt his body heat. That's nice. Anyways. So now we're waiting for the DA to give us a call. We're waiting for the Lee County Sheriff's Office in North Carolina to do what they're supposed to do. We go serve him his warrant, which means arrest him, put him in handcuffs. Now, because of the severity of the charge, which is not very, very high, it's not a very high severity case. It's not a big misdemeanor. And because he doesn't have a criminal record other than some speeding tickets, traffic violations, and he used to be a truck driver, and he got an actual criminal charge for altering logbooks. Other than those few couple little things, he'll more than likely be able to sign himself out on a bond with an unsecured bond. So, I mean, as soon as they arrest him, they take him to the magistrate's office, and then he can, sign himself out, and it's basically like a promise to appear kind of thing. And if he doesn't show up, then they'll come get his ass for failure to appear, and then he'll have to sit in jail until court date. So that's that. That's what we're waiting for now. We'll keep you guys updated. This will probably be a little series. It was hard to get Kat on camera tonight, but hopefully I can convince her with the more updates we have, the more things that go on, that she'll be willing to be on camera. And any one of you, I've done most of the talking.
Part 2 coming soon.
Any one of y'all have any comments? Anything you want to say about the situation? About maybe how you were feeling in court? How you were feeling in court?
Well, Dad, you know how I felt in court.
Not really much to it. I mean, it was just, just kind of sitting there and just, kind of waiting your turn. And if you've never been to court or you're there for like, witnesses or jury duty kind of thing. I mean, you just kind of sit there waiting for, the case to kind of go through, depending on what happens, so you can either go, good or bad for one way or the other person. But, I mean, in case of this, it's like I told them before off camera and stuff, I think it's kind of sad that we've had to get to this point, because it's, you would think somebody, being, a little bit older and supposedly wiser, you would think that, they would have the common sense to, like, okay, maybe we don't need to let it get this far, to let, officers or the law or, judges in this, we can just take care of it like, family or people and just let it go. But some people can't. That's why we're here.
And see, I'm the type of person, I want to try my best to handle something outside of court. And we told this man back in April or May of 2024, if he didn't leave us alone, because it was more than just one time we have asked him to leave us alone and stop showing up to the house and all that other stuff, that we'd eventually have to get, law enforcement involved. And he says, well, you can do whatever you want. You have me arrested, blah, 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 blah. I don't care, all this other stuff.
No, now we're here.
Well, now we're here. We've given him multiple times. We give him multiple times. And I'm the type of person that I feel like I did what I'm supposed to do, because we gave him full warning. We told him if he didn't quit, that's what it was going to lead to. And now here we are, about 2 years later. And I don't like taking somebody to court. I don't think it's the right thing. I think, me personally, like if I have a problem with Tony, I feel like me and Tony should go duke it out in the front yard or something, versus having the law enforcement involved or, something like that, Try to keep law enforcement out of, your life as much as possible. But in a situation where somebody won't listen, and on top of that, this man is a little older than I am, and has had heart trouble in the past, and I feel like if I got into a fight with him, well, I could be the last thing he sees, if you get what I mean. And I don't want to be responsible for nobody's death. And plus, on top of that, he is my elder, so, I don't want to put my hands on somebody older than me. I mean, but let me clarify. This man ain't like 80 or 90 years old, no shit like that.
He's 65.
He's still able to get around pretty good, and he's older than us by, he got like 20 years on us, probably 30 years on us. He's got 30 years on Cat, 40 years on Cat. He's got 31 on me.
30. No,
32 on you. So I mean, he's older, but he's still like he doesn't have no form of dementia. He's not like some older, wheelchaired or handicapped or anything like that. This man is very capable of understanding.
Word no.
The word no. This man is very capable of also causing harm to our property, especially because he still acts like a child and wants to, break things when he doesn't get his way. So, just to avoid, something catastrophic or too crazy, that's the only reason we brought law enforcement into the situation.
We're taking the safest route.
But I don't know. I hate that it had to go this way. Kat hates it because it's her father. She hates having to go through the court situation. She hates dealing.
To see him. I having to deal with him.
And hate having to deal with the court situation and just all the people there at the court and the district attorneys and possibly whoever his lawyer is. Because in the courtroom, it's the district attorney who was representing Kat. and then you got his attorney, and they're gonna clash and collide. You know, one party's gonna hate one party, and that party's gonna hate the other party, and it's just each other, So, so you got anything to say? If your dad's watching this right now, what would you say to him?
Why couldn't you just leave me alone? Point blank, period. I ain't done nothing. You would think twice you get the hint, but now it comes around 4 or 5 different times.
What would you say to your sister or your brother that's watching this?
I don't have a problem with my brother because he don't.
Your brother's cool.
I like he don't get into stuff like this.
I like her brother. He went to school to be a computer programmer. And you guys know me. I'm a computer repair guy myself. So her brother's cool. Your sister, if your sister was watching this, what would you say to your sister?
Drive off a cliff.
Well, that's kind of harsh, but
I don't care.
and the reason she only feels that way is because her sister takes her dad's side and everything. So,
Oh, but she didn't do this taking his side until my mom died. Thank God she's dead that she don't have to deal with this. Poor daddy can't take it. But yeah.
So with that saying, I think we're pretty much done. Again, my name is Michael.
Tony.
Cat.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Peace. Stand remote every time. I know you guys see that.